Hi, this is Excelsior the Lion. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've recorded a video, even done new photographs outside of the tail for some time. There was a little brief time when a dear friend took me to Leo's Mini Golf, and that helped me feel better for 4 days. And I went right back to where I was, severe depression. And it's always going to be with me. Sometimes it'll get better. Maybe I'll find euphoria again, I'm not sure. Euphoria lives down the street. You know, I keep looking for a place, but okay, then happiness is the other way too. You know, there's euphoria, happiness, keep looking for them. Ba-dum-bum. Oh boy, Tonight, I was chatting with a friend on Skype, which I don't normally use, had not used before, I'm not really a big fan of. And I think it's Sparky Sparks or whatever the name, I can't remember. I'm sorry. And that person, I can never keep the gender straight, you know? I mean, you know, look at me. Can you tell? Am I a guy or, okay, yes, male lines with the mane are guys, but I mean, you know, okay, say this was a bear, male or female? When you build the hotel, you know, oh, I got movies. I just changed this from rated G to PG. Parents, if your kids are underage, please turn their eyes the other way. Anyway, that person broke me out of the spell. They brought up, I'm not sure what it was. Got an itch there. Anyway, they brought up something, and I think it was something that reminded me. That's right. They said that they think they saw me on a live feed from the convention. Somebody had their laptop or whatever and was running in. He was looking over their shoulder, kind of a thing. He or she. I'm presuming a he. Yeah. Okay, it. I'm sorry. We have such fun with our identity confusion. And it reminded me how wonderful, despite all the rough spots, how wonderful that convention was, and that these conventions are. You can sit there and complain about little bits and pieces, but look behind all this negativity, and it's the most wonderful thing. Because we have the most wonderful concept, culture, hobby, and so forth that I've ever seen. I'm sure there's something better, but I'm just so in love. And Sparky helped, indirectly and accidentally helped me to remember. And I looked at a picture of me and Leo with a dog in the back. Poor little doggies hiding back there. And 2 kids. And their father was taking a picture, and also our camera people were too. And oh, it was so wonderful. That it's so, I'm crying again. Oh. Anywho, it reminded me, and I looked at it and I said, "This is such a wonderful thing we have, and it's such fun that we have." And there are those that keep saying, "Oh, I wish I had a fursuit like you," and da 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 da. But you boil it all down. Every single furry has something that most people don't have. And that's the concept, the hobby, the culture. We're such friendly people, loving, caring. It may seem like otherwise sometimes, but that's just a matter of perception. And as an example, and it's not because I caused it or I bring it to me intentionally or anything like that, but the therapist noted, as I've said in a video before, that for the first time in my life I feel loved. And it's not by coincidence. And it's not so much because of need. It's because, whether you see it or not, fairies are some of the best people I've ever met, some of the most generous, helpful, kind, courteous, and so forth. And every single furry should remember that, how wonderful it is. And I can't remember what else I needed to say, but I finally, after we had the conversation going back and forth, I finally said, all right, bleep it. That's it. I had not, here's a little bit of background before we get into what I bleeped about, is for weeks now, the depression's been really bad. It has been getting so bad I couldn't do much of anything, dishes, nothing. Even one day it got so bad I couldn't even take pills. And Zoran taking me there and paying the entry fee, because that's always the problem, never having money for the fee to go to places and so forth, let alone getting to the meets. And I had such a wonderful time. But before and after, I had used to go for short walks on the sidewalk in front of the mobile home park, just up and down a little bit. A lot of traffic, not major, no foot traffic for the most part, even in the daytime. And it's always neat to go for that little walk. And I used to do it quite regularly. I used to wear my fursuit quite regularly, and they're so goddamn comfortable, or at least mine, because I didn't really intentionally make them for beauty. I just made fursuit bodies. I made fursuits because I wanted one so badly. And as I've said before, it changed everything in my life. And the problem was, through today, again, I just really couldn't do much of anything. Even chatting with friends online or whatever, it just was kind of meh. You know, I just could not feel well. And when we were talking about the convention and all that, and my remembering and all that, it snapped. It popped in my head, whatever. I don't know how to put it. You know, just all of a sudden it came into my mind to just suit up and go for that walk at night on the street there. I go at night because that way there's less likelihood of running into people, somebody wanting to take a picture with me and all that. Because of my hearing, I'm so afraid. And I want to hear what people say, I want to hear the comments and all that, but I'm afraid of ticking people off. And on a similar note, what really just tanked me, and I started packing up the fursuits and putting them in the shed. But that's about normal, whether it be closet or shed. They're not something you wear every day, normally. Some only bring their fursuits out maybe, say, once a year. But I swear to God, some of the furries in the San Francisco Bay Area fursuit twice a month, doing all sorts of things, because they are, I think 4 times a month, because there's 2 bowling events that one guy goes to, for example, he fursuits at, and then the other fursuit activities or meets or whatever, and the things they do, they go off and they do videos and photography and so forth. So they're fursuiting a lot. And I'm jealous of that, of course, because I was told this is a luxury and that it's not a need, but he probably forgot, this guy probably forgot, or the other guy, the other person I know had probably forgotten that fursuiting helps with my depression. And when going on one of those fursuiting activities, it's one of the best antidepressants I've ever had. This one lasted 4 days. That's about normal. 3 or 4 days after a meet, I feel so much better. Think of any antidepressant. You take 1 pill or 2 pills for 1 day and have it last 4 days? Unheard of. But some of the best things in the world are not in a pill form. They're not bought with money. Although, you know, there was gas and transportation. Yeah, that's what's keeping me from going to any meets or fursuits events anymore, except the Berkeley meet, no fursuits allowed. At least I can do that, but because I can just drive a short distance, catch a train to downtown Berkeley, and walk 3 blocks and bang, I'm in the restaurant. Even though I can't hear or understand a word anybody says, at least I can do that. But I just was I'm always normally so scared to go fursuiting because of my hearing impairment, and it's actually a practicality issue. I should not and cannot go fursuiting in public, in daylight and all that, etc., 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 with people, because I need to be able to hear the comments, the questions, and everything. Not because it would cause trouble, it's more because it's a need to hear that. It's the way things are. And not much I can do about it. So, watching the clock a little bit, whoop-de-doo. I'm sorry. I'm not following the script. Top of my head stuff. It gets so random, and but there's just so much to get into, and I wanted to get this down on tape. And so in the conversation with Sparky, I said, okay, that's it, I'm going to suit up. Got my suit, suited up, went outside for a walk. First time I walked at night, that thing I used to do on an almost regular basis, in at least a month, maybe 2 months. I'm not sure. And part of what had me way down, but I actually probably couldn't sink any further, but still, an incident last Saturday. There's a park not too far from here that I enjoy going to, and there's a section of it. It's a picnic grounds, and it's always empty. And about a couple hundred feet away, give or take, is a kiddie playground. So I can fursuit in that area, away from the kids, and not many people going by, so there's not much of a chance of encounter, so I can be free to fursuit and do what I want to do. So I had gone there. Was it Saturday? Yeah, whatever day it was. I had gone there to do that, was setting up on the grass to lie there and enjoy the sunshine. And yeah, I'm in fursuit, but enjoy the sunshine and take a picture or two. And up comes 2 cops. 2 cop cars, 2 cops. And they said, you know, I have to paraphrase and rephrase all of it because I can't remember exactly. It's too hard to, I'd have to read a script or something. We've had a complaint, and then they started asking questions, looking at my ID, but then these guys, they grilled me half to death. Kept asking questions, but I get started on the answer, and then bam, they hit me with another question. And it just kept going. It was terrible. I felt like they were harassing me. And fortunately, I don't get really upset with that right away, but no, I did this time. That's right, I forgot. The first time, you know, it happens. Somebody say, oh wow, something strange is going on, they call the police, and bang. I expected to do that to happen when I was not in fursuit. But I'd forgotten 2 things. well, not forgotten the second one. The parents in those playgrounds are insanely paranoid. They match the paranoid schizophrenic condition perfectly, closely. And the world's out to get us. There are predators, not predators, but the other kind of predators, the pedophiles, and so forth, lurking about. Everybody in the whole damn park? 50, maybe 100 perverts sitting there? Aren't there anybody that is not a pervert? The thing is to find the one that is. But it's relatively rare. So stop being such a jackass about it. But I'd forgotten, I kind of was keeping that in mind, but I was so far away that should not have been an issue. But after this incident with the police, after the grilling and all that, they said for me not to go to the park again. And I said, because I don't hear well, and I repeated it. You're saying I should not go to these parks anymore? And they said yes. So it was clear. Now, I was not banned. There was no formal paperwork, nothing. I was not arrested or anything like that. But I was told not to go back to the Antioch City parks. Possibly, don't automatically think so, but possibly, they maybe, I wish there was some way to find out for sure, they maybe have been saying, we advise you to not, because it's something I remember yesterday or the day before. There had been some news about how people in a neighborhood and the parents in the playground think they own the whole goddamn park. So anybody that went to that picnic area, more than 200 feet away, they would call the cops and have them chased off. The cops were willing pawns to the lies that these people were making, saying that I was taking pictures of their children. The camera was empty. The cops looked at it this time. The camera was empty. How could I be taking pictures of kids? It's this camera, and it can't take very much the way of the distance. It would be really crappy. Very low resolution and everything. The kid's face would be a solid block of color, if it was blown up. So it's just no way in hell. But the parents are paranoid, and the police went with them for some reason and chased me out of the place. And told me not to go back, so I'm not going to be able to go to any of the city parks. I'm hoping, but because of my hearing problem, I don't see how, but I'm hoping to be able to talk with a police sergeant and maybe those officers and so forth and get this straightened out. But because of my hearing difficulty, that's not easy. Also note that it's hard for me to participate in government because there's no damn captioning. I was in an article in a Disability Rights magazine newsletter with these examples. And, it was one of my weird, imagine that you're doing this. Imagine this happens, hypothetical. So I can't participate in government, can't communicate very well. We're hoping to get me hearing aids through Medi-Cal, even though the budget was cut, so I'm not supposed to be able to. I already had people in Oakland tell me they couldn't get it. But they did say that I should be able to. It's not a mandatory once every 5 years. So I'll find out from the people in Vallejo, but right now, no money, no gas, can't go there. And so we'll see how that goes, and I'm kind of, unfortunately, being reluctant until after I get the hearing aids to go talk with them. But the more you wait, the more likely everybody will forget, not remember these incidents. But I'm pretty sure I'm on record somewhere. I probably, I don't know enough about this, but maybe on a permanent record, or frequently called, frequently visited by the police, something that line, little entry And so people keep picking up my record and say, "My God, there's something wrong with this guy. The cops keep investigating him all the time." Ugh. Yeah, there's something wrong with me. I'm a loving, caring person wanting to go fursuiting in a park. By myself, away from everybody. Safe, about as safe a situation as I can make it. Because it has to be on a paved ground. This is a tiny house, so there's no walking around or anything. So it has to be outdoors, and preferably out of this park. It's a cleaner park. So it's city parks and others with pavement, but for some damned reason, every park has right on the main path, right in the main area, kiddie playground. And if the parents are owning it, that means all these parks, I really should not ever in or out of fursuit, go anywhere near them. I've been waiting for years. Damn, tape's going to run out. Numb that. Anywho, so that's not my depression. Like that, I'm packing up, put the fursuits in this shed, not out of anger because I needed to clean up the place a bit. And because it's a little more normal, you don't go fursuiting every day, blah, 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 blah. So, thank God tonight I was reminded. And while I was walking, Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World" was playing in my head. I just tried to see if I could sing it, but not that good. So, this is Excelsior the Lion. Thank you for listening. And may all your days be full of furriness and happiness and love. And